the charity wallet, you can actually see that these guys made a transaction on the 6th, literally a day after this coin was being sold, to the Binance charity wallet. And they made that transaction in what appears to be 25.4 million kids token, right? It's a weird fucking token name, all right? I don't know if they were memeing or whatever, but they basically transacted 25.4 million kids. Now, let's go look at the value of 25.4 million kids now. Yeah, so here we've got the pancake swap trade. So if we type in all this kid amount right now, for instance, if I open up just Kate real quick and I put the value here real fast, we can just get rid of the commas like so and copy this amount into the situation. Now it gives us 129 BNB tokens. I'm going to round that up just to like 130. Actually, I'll round it down to 129 because that's how fucking math works. So if we do 129 BNB tokens to USD, all right, which is the standard fiat currency equivalent, this translates to $45,804 as of today's conversion result. You're going to get some varying results like 39,000. Anyways, that is the money that apparently was sent over to that account. Now, here's where it gets a bit dubious in this situation, okay? So from what I'm deciphering from this actual transaction, they sent the actual kids token to that Binance charity. Now, I don't know if they've converted it to a different currency before they've done that, but the idea here is if it's transacted in the kids token, from what we've seen over here, then they've transacted it on the 6th of June, meaning that its value was closer to that 1 penny amount we saw earlier. Now, if they sent that amount in the kids token, what's really weird is that now, if you look at it, let's say, right now, but of its current value, it's at 40,000, meaning that the donation amount, because of the devaluation of the currency, the donation also devalued as that currency went. Again, that's under the implication that that wasn't transferred in BNB or some sort of stable coin currency that retains its value. If it was transferred in that kids token amount and it stayed like that, that means that donation amount that initially was sent at the value of 1 penny has now lost 90% of its value. So they ended up also having an audit in this case, right? And when we open up the audit, all right, it comes from a company known as TechRate. There's nothing wrong with the company TechRate. In fact, if you want to look at what TechRate does, these are guys that basically serve as consulting groups and basically they test blockchains, right? Now, they've been probably making a fair killing on auditing all these coins. So they've audited Jaguar Swap, Kishu, Inu, Smartcoin, Moonrat, Cancel Elon, Pepe Moon, Fast Moon. They've been auditing like mofos, and their auditeds are posted for everyone to read on GitHub. So when we go back to their actual audit in this case, and let's go back to the website and open up the audit for this coin in particular, you can see that TechRate made a security audit. A security audit. I feel like most people who look at this may assume that an audit means, hey, this might be scam-proof. Maybe they're not going to take my money and rug pull me. This is not what the audit's about. It is a simple security audit. So let's go over it real quick as a community. So here they audited the project called Save the Kids. They mentioned the deployer address, which is important, OX401631B. Remember that address because it's going to be very important in the next bit. So here they've got Save the Kids team, Binance Smart Chain, and all that nonsense. Then they have a disclaimer. This is a limited report on our findings based on our analysis in accordance with good industry practice as at the date of this report in relation to cybersecurity vulnerabilities and issues in the framework and algorithms based on smart contracts, the details of which are set out in this report. In order to get a full view of our analysis, it is crucial for you to read the full report. While we have done our best in conducting our analysis and producing this report, it's important to note that you should not rely on this report and cannot claim against us on the basis of what it says or doesn't say or how we produced it. Make sure to read it in full, okay? So they also want you to conduct your own independent investigations before making any decisions. So it's a massive fucking disclaimer in this entire thing, all right? One could even read this and probably assume, what's the point of an audit if you're disclaiming it this fucking hard? Anyways, let's get down to the idea of here. The entire purpose of the audit was to ensure that the smart contract functions as intended. So basically the fact that they were siphoning money from each transaction, that whole tax that we discussed earlier, was actually being sent to the charity address, which they proved, or, you know, they said that that's what they were achieving. Now, there isn't any shenanigans when it comes to the actual Binance charity wallet. According to the source code, they are sending it to a wallet address. And if you you look at each transaction, it does seem to function as intended. Of course, from what I'm seeing, the values are 00 BNB, so as far as I understand, the value of the coin itself, or the token Save the Kids, is so low that it's not really registering as something tangible, but there are transactions being made, so there aren't any shenanigans as far as the charity aspect is considered. But then again, with the devaluing currency, how much of that charity really matters when it's been pumped and dumped this hard is the real question to be having. Identify potential security issues with the smart contract. So again, a security audit of the actual coin itself, which any coin is going to do. So what's important here is they've shown this token distribution. Now, of course, you can see that this giant blue pancake swap is basically where people are just selling off their tokens once they're done, like the liquidity, I guess, if you want to put into it in rough terms. Then you have the OX0 dead, which is the burn wallet, and then you have these wallets. So this green is the next biggest wallet after this liquidity, the burn, and whatnot. So then you go down and down and down until this is where, like, you know, little Billy put his $30 into it from grandma that she gave him because somebody on YouTube's told them this was going to double overnight, or maybe it might double overnight. Maybe it might be headed to the moon, right? You get that? Now, looking at the audit that was actually posted onto their website, I looked at one of the top 100 token holders that they
Welcome back, my name is Toy House, and if you're new here, I am really not like the other YouTubers. You see, the difference between me and them is you might actually want to hear from them again sometime. But all jokes aside, today we're going to be talking about 9 leveling mistakes to avoid, and I'd say mistake number 6 is my personal favorite to be aware of because of Season of Mastery changes, and you might regret not knowing about it beforehand. So let's dive right into it. So, number 1, falling behind on professions, things like skinning and mining or anything else. You know, it's easy to not care about professions or fall behind accidentally, but in Season of Mastery, we're getting increased nodes. In the beta, I saw nodes stacking, meaning you could get a double node spawn right on top of each other. So if you usually skip mining or herbalism while leveling, Season of Mastery could be your chance to level it as you go. Even if not those professions, skinning is super easy to integrate into your leveling on your way to 60. But again, you can forget to level it and fall behind. Now, a good tip here to remember is the cutoffs for increasing your max skill so you don't fall behind. So it's 50 to learn Journeyman, 125 for Expert, and 200 for Artisan. That way you can line up when you're going to go back to a major city to learn your skills. You can also learn your profession, get it to the right level, and get that to the next step as you go and get your new skills. So moving on to mistake number 2 is forgetting to get dungeon quests. Now in Season of Mastery, not only do we get 40% more experience from quests, but an additional roughly 7% extra from group and dungeon quests. So getting all your dungeon quests is super important. Now, the first step is, of course, knowing all the quests you can get. Now, I literally just go to Wowhead and search the name of the dungeon, scroll down to the quests tab, and boom, it lists them all out. So make sure to do any prerequisites for these quests, grab them, and then go to the dungeon. This is probably the most common mistake I see in Classic. Almost all the time, your group will love you for sharing the quests for the dungeon, if they are shareable, of course, and the ones that aren't, well, that is their loss. That does happen occasionally. All right, now moving on to mistake number 3. Missing good quest items. So it's not always straightforward knowing what item may lie at the end of a long quest chain. Some are worth doing, some are totally not worth doing. There are some obvious great quest rewards like the Whirlwind Axe for warriors, but how do you know about the others? You know, it's a good idea to know about your weapon progression. This is going to really help you, especially if you're a warrior, or your wand progression, especially if you're a priest. These are all very important things to know on your leveling journey. But even those aside, there are certain quest items that are so good that you'll want to make sure you do them, because unlike getting a drop off of a boss, which is chance based, quests will guarantee you 100% chance of getting that item. It's for that reason that getting great items from quests is a great idea to help make leveling easier. Things like Nifty Stopwatch to get that move speed bonus, or Skull of Impending Doom, same deal. Carrot on a Stick, you got to get Gazrilla. Might be hard to pull that one off, but again, getting Carrot on a Stick would be a really big thing for increasing, your mount speed getting around. Or even if you're Alliance, the rewards from the Defias Brotherhood quest chain or the Wailing Caverns dungeon quest chain. There's a ton of really good blue items that you can get pretty early, and it's guaranteed as long as you can do that quest. Now there's so many more, so it doesn't hurt to do a little research here, see which zones and dungeons are really worth going out of your way for, that you can guarantee yourself a nice item. All right, let's move on to mistake number 4, doing quests out of order and forgetting to buy materials. I like this one because, you know, it's kind of just an easy gotcha. You kind of just forgot. So have you ever done a quest and then realized when you turned it in that while you were out doing that quest, you could have done another quest literally at the same time? I literally think we all have. It's like, it's the right of playing World of Warcraft. Like, everyone goes through this at one point in their journey or later. So this time around is your chance to be a pro gamer and do all the quests in the best order possible. All right, try it one more time. So did you know, for example, that there is a horde quest called the Defense of Gromgal, where you need to kill 15 Lashtail Raptors. This is in Stranglethorn Vale. I'm sure you already knew this. But the second quest in the Raptor Mastery quest chain also has you killing literally 10 Lashtail Raptors. So if you have both quests at the same time, you are literally completing 2 quests at the same time as you kill raptors. That's getting 2 birds stoned with 1 rock. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about putting together a video that outlines all these little tricks, so subscribe if you want more tips like this, because I think they're super helpful. Now, the other mistake people make related to quests is forgetting to buy the materials required for quests ahead of time. You can go to Splinter Tree Outpost, then you see you need a Deadly Blunderbuss, so then you go all the way back to Orgrimmar to go buy one off the auction house. Well, if you knew you needed this ahead of time, you could have saved yourself a trip, and that flight path is not short, of course. Now, buying materials for quests ahead of time, there are opportunities to do this, for example, with the Badlands quests, you know, the Frost Oil, the 9 Blue Pearls, the Healing Potion, Lesser Invisibility Potion, and the Pattern Bronze Bracers, as well as the Gyro Chronotom. These are all things that you just bring and turn in. It's a free quest, so if you can get those materials before you go to the Badlands, it's really worth doing. Now, there are more, you know, things like this. I know there's one in, you know, of the Alliance area where, you know, there's actually a ton in the Alliance area you can just purchase off the auction house. So there's actually a list. I'm gonna post a list in the description of all the items that you can purchase and turn in for a quest, because there's actually a lot of them. Now, as an extra tip, I do recommend leveling with 1 skill in engineering. You'll get an extra turn in for the Flash Bomb recipe, which is the schematic Flash Bomb, which sells for a lot, actually. Well, of course, depending on your server, so your mileage may vary. But you can only get this quest if you have at least 1 skill in engineering. And there is another scenario where this happens. So just having engineering while you level is kind of nice. If you're going to be one of those people who's like, I'm not doing trade skills, no matter what, I'm going to get to 60 first, go ahead and just pick up engineering, get it at 1 skill. It's going to actually help your leveling go even faster. All right, moving on to mistake number 5, which is not making a bank alt. Now, this is a huge one. You're going to come across so many valuable items as you level, whether that's a trade skill material or rare equipment or weapons, and you won't want to be vendoring these. Inevitably, you're going to run out of bag space, probably pretty quickly. So instead of going back to the auction house all the time to list these items, instead make a bank alt and mail these items to them. This will be huge for making gold, which will be much needed in Season of Mastery. Now, if you played the beta, I did. If you didn't, basically, you're going to be leveling faster. You're going to have less gold. You're going to learn your skills faster. So basically, I think everyone's going to be strapped for cash. So maybe even auctioning these items, there we go, might not even be the best thing for you to do. Maybe this is a scenario where actually just vendoring like cloth or vendoring some of the stuff actually is the right thing to do. I don't know. It's to be seen. But there are certain items that you definitely will not want to vendor that might surprise you with how valuable they could possibly be. And I'm going to list out a few here for you. There's the Wicked Claw, which is needed for crafting Druid and Warrior Bis helmets. There's the Large Fang, which is needed for crafting the Barbaric set and making Rage Potions. There's the Giant Egg, which is used in cooking skill quests for making the Monstrous Omelet. So in order to get your cooking to max, you have to get giant eggs. Long, elegant feathers used for crafting the Admiral's hat. Of course, small flame sacks are super valuable for making fire protection potions, as well as cooking Dragon Breath chili. And of course, spider silk, used for tons of leatherworking and tailoring recipes. You've got all the different elemental, earth, water, fire, and air, which are used for potions and gear. Elemental fire is needed for that greater fire protection potions. You better bet that's going to be valuable. And then there's fused wiring. This is my go-to for leveling, my go-to for getting my mount at 40. I remember just on my hunter, just in Stranglethorn Vale, killing the shredders. That is a great way to get fused wiring. Needed for lots of engineering crafting, especially repair bots, which are going to be used in all raids, so certainly going to have some demand there. Don't vendor those. So that is mistake number 5. Let's move on to mistake number 6. We have wasting gold on useless skills. Now this is huge for Season of Mastery. I think gold, once again, is going to be very, very hard to acquire in Season of Mastery, at least at first, at least initially. It's because we're going to be leveling so much faster in Season of Mastery with that 40% increased experience from quests, so naturally we're going to be learning our skills faster, and gold is going to be a serious issue, I believe, for many players, particularly, I think, warriors. So you need to be careful and only train skills you know you're going to use that are extremely useful as you're leveling in order to afford all of the important skills. So, for example, Mocking Blow for a warrior. I leveled a warrior. It's really not needed. I mean, it's basically a taunt while in battle stance. Do you really need that? I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're playing with 2 people and you don't want to have to switch stances to defensive stance and taunt. I don't know, but I personally wouldn't get Mocking Blow. Or Eagle Eye for a hunter. Do you really need to be able to cast a channeled ability to go see really far away? I don't know. Maybe there's someone out there who's like Eagle Eye Abyss, but personally I wouldn't get it. I don't think you really need that skill. Now, depending on your class, of course, we just talked about hunter and warrior, but there are some skills you really don't need to train, and by skipping those, you can save yourself a lot of gold. So be smart about training your skills. I think this is some good advice. Only train the abilities you really need and use often. All right, let's move on to number 7, not affording your mount at 40. Now, of course, we all want to afford our mount at 40. Some of us will be capable of doing this. Some of us will not. Now, for a lot of people, I think this is going to be a challenge, but if you're smart about gold, meaning you sell the valuable items that you find on the auction house, you only learn the skills you need, you weave trade skills into your leveling without slowing you down too much, such as going trade skills such as skinning and enchanting, and then affording your amount at 40 should be possible. Now, I say should be because in Season of Mastery, I can already tell you most people are going to be broke because of the faster leveling and training skills. I think it's going to really eat into their gold big time. So I predict most people will not have their mount right at level 40. But they don't call it Season of Mastery for no reason. If you're one of the few, the proud, who are able to afford your mount at level 40 immediately, this is going to be a huge differentiator. It's going to be a huge help for getting you all the way to 60. That 60% increased move speed is massive, especially in Classic where there is so much traveling involved. It will definitely speed up your leveling dramatically, and frankly, your quality of life just having that. So I think it's a great thing to go for. Now, something I should mention, if you're still deciding what class you want to play, is that Warlocks and Paladins get their level 40 mount for absolutely free. It's literally just a quest turn in to learn the skill. So consider that when choosing which class to play. Because of the virtually guaranteed gold shortage, at least at first, choosing a Warlock or a Paladin could be advantageous if you really want to get that mount at level 40 immediately. All right, let's go on to mistake number 8, forgetting to log out in an inn for rested experience. I know, this is a rookie mistake, it's basic, but really, let's be honest, the real mistake here is logging out. No, but all jokes aside, might seem obvious, but log out in a capital city or an inn to get your rested experience when you're not playing, whenever that may be. But many overlook this. You do also get rested experience while logged out outside of an inn or capital city, but it's accumulated much slower at a rate of exactly 1/4 as fast as if you were in an inn or capital city. So if you're not going to play for a few days, you decide, you're going to, some mythical scenario where you actually don't play for a few days, it's probably worth it to log out in a rested area. You can get up to 30 bubbles of rested experience max, which takes exactly 10 days to accumulate. If you want to make the most optimized use of your time, make a character, wait 10 days, play until rested is gone, go log out, rest for 10 days, rinse, repeat, right? And being rested is awesome because you get double XP from killing monsters while rested until the rested runs out. So use that rested XP bonus where you can. It's not necessarily needed, but if you know ahead of time you're not going to be able to log on to WoW for a little while, make the effort to log out in an inn or capital city. All right, we're moving on to the final tip today, which is rushing to 60 So that's it. The last mistake really is to avoid rushing to 60. For some people, that's their enjoyment. That's fine. They want to see how fast they can get to level 60. That's totally cool. But personally, I'd recommend you find what you enjoy in the game and enjoy it. You don't have to min-max. You can tame that Crocolisk pet. You can go that weird spec you want to go because you think it's cool. You can level your trade skills, you know, even if you're not leveling that fast. Nothing kills the enjoyment like wishing you were a higher level and just trying to push for it as fast as you can, you know? Honestly, it takes time to get to max, and appreciating where you are in that journey is much more enjoyable to me than wishing you were at a different stage of that journey. So my final tip to you is take your time, have fun, enjoy the game, and that's all I got. Like and subscribe.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another World of Warcraft Classic Guide. My name is Cargos, and today I'd like to share with you this comprehensive Druid leveling guide for World of Warcraft 1.12. I'm going to start off just by sharing my general impressions of Druid leveling, talk about the pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses. Then we're going to move into quality of life and rotation at the different leveling brackets, so 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, so on and so forth. Then we're going to move into talent builds. Because Druids are a hybrid class, there are a ton of options on the table for you, and what you choose is going to depend on kind of your goals in the game, whether you want to maybe do a little more healing on the way to 60, or if you're just trying to speed level as hyper efficiently as possible. I've also included some noteworthy pieces of gear you might want to consider as you level. Druids overall are very gear independent, but it's stuff that you might want to keep in mind. We're going to go over tips and tricks, lots of really interesting stuff in this one, so let's get going. I got to quickly shout out the people that helped make this guide possible. For those of you who don't know, Druids are one of the most underrepresented and underestimated classes in the game. They are subject to a lot of stigma. The whole, jack of all trades, master of none comes to mind. Also the whole hybrid tax. They're made to feel like they're not viable. And people have rallied around this underdog mentality, and there's a lot of really passionate Druid enthusiasts in the community. People like Mobia, Scylla, Skepticon, Unusual, Keftank, Tailspinner, Serendipities, Taladrill, and of course Shadow. And some of these people that you're seeing right here were invaluable to helping create this guide. The whole Druid Classic Discord was really fantastic, and these are people that actually crunch the numbers and try and push Druids to the absolute maximum potential, and they've really come up with some really valuable information. So let's get started. Class overview. I'm going to read this little thing that I wrote for you. So Druids are hyper efficient tier 1 levelers with low gear dependence and the highest movement speed in the game. Druids have excellent starting area progression in a fresh realm environment due to the reduced congestion of both Mulgore and Teldrassil. At level 10, Druids get a big power spike through Bear form, allowing them to kill faster and with higher sustain. Druids get Cat form at level 20, and soon after 2 out of 2 improved Cat form, or Feline Swiftness is the actual name, giving them an astounding 30% static movement speed increase when outdoors. This speed is incredibly valuable early on, and when paired with the ability to self-heal and prowl and go into Bear form when necessary, it just offers Druids so many advantages that no other class have. Druids are capable of competently performing as a tank, DPS, or healer throughout the entirety of the leveling process. Bear tanks have easy, on-demand, high AoE threat in the form of swipe, and also a threat table that's multiplicative as opposed to additive like a warrior. Cat DPS is quite strong during the leveling stages, gear independent. They offer great group utility in the form of a combat res, off heals, off tanking, and so on and so forth. As healers, Druids are best utilized alongside another member of the party that can freely resurrect, as they are restricted to a resurrection on a cooldown called Rebirth. It's the combat res that requires a reagent. So you can't just res whenever you want, which is kind of a bummer. But if you're paired alongside maybe a paladin or a shaman that can resurrect, Druids are fantastic dungeon healers. So let's move on to the pros and cons. So tier 1 leveling speed. The reason why they're tier 1 and they're right up there with hunters are due to a couple different reasons. And we've seen this, through some of the private servers in the past, how fast Druids can level. We've seen Druids 4 days played, and you know, even server firsting, beating out hunters, server first druids. It's a very real thing. So not only do they have the highest movement speed in the game, and it comes online really early, they have that really good starting area progression. You know, everybody is, you know, running around like headless chickens in the Valley of Trials and Elwyn Forest. They're able to get ahead of the pack starting on pre-level 10. And then their movement speed comes online so early with the feline swiftness that they're able to continue that snowball. And if you really know what you're doing when it comes to questing, this movement speed is going to translate into a lot of value. And the other main thing is that they're gear independent. So weapons for druids are just stat sticks. The top end, the damage range, the DPS, it doesn't really matter for druids because you have these animal forms and your damage is going to be, based on your animal form. So, you know, this is very different from classes like rogues, paladins, shamans, warriors, these melee classes that it's a big priority for them to keep their weapon relevant. And while warriors are trying to find groups to go get their whirlwind axe, or rogues are trying to get cruel barb, or whatever these classes are doing, druids are just going. They're going with high movement speed and no downtime. And the other aspect of why they have no downtime, which we'll talk more about in a second, is your mana continues to regenerate while you're in animal form, even though you're using animal form abilities. And the reason is you're using either energy-based abilities in cat form or rage-based abilities in bear form. So we'll talk about the flow of combat, but you know, because your mana is regenerating and you still get to use abilities, you're just able to continue the infinite value loop and heal yourself, go back to animal form. But we'll talk about that in a second. So amazing questers, low gear dependence, high sustain, strong self-healing, decent crowd control, can tank DPS or heal, can stealth. The different forms and skills you have offer a very fun, rewarding, dynamic gameplay. Hard to kill out in open world PvP. Druids are the de facto flag carriers in Warsong Gulch. They're very hard to lock down and kill. The cons is they have a slowish start from 1 to 10. The kill speed single target tends to slow down in the I think it slows down for pretty much every class though, but I definitely felt it more on a druid. And the subpar grinding efficiency. This is not to say that druids are by any means bad at grinding. They have they can really sustain indefinitely. But if I were to compare druids to the other kind of tier 1, tier 2 levelers when it comes to pure grinding efficiency, they are going to fall behind. So, you know, warlocks, you're able to juggle 3-4 mobs at the same time, dotting stuff, you know, making your pet transition to the next target, being really proactive and lining up your next kill before the first one's even dead. Druids are still very much single target killers. Same thing with hunters. So if I had to, you know, grind for 3 hours straight, a warlock or a hunter is going to pull ahead of a druid, and even a mage with AoE grinding. So, but druids, when it comes to questing, badass. All right, so no regular resurrection. General leveling tips. I'm not going to talk about this so much. I got some feedback that this is kind of boring. I talk about this in every class leveling guide. There is a link to the presentation down in the description below and pinned in the comments, so feel free to come in here and take a look at this type of stuff. The only one I guess I'll talk about is push the limits of your combat efficiency. This is going to be very important with druids because you're going to have to manage your health and mana, and you're going to have stuff like power shifting, and you're going to... We'll talk about it in a second, but... yeah, take a look at these general leveling tips. Leveling speed equation, you know, your leveling speed is going to be the sum total of your in-combat time, out-of-combat time, travel time, so view all three of these equally. Okay, so druid combat. Let me kind of just go through the general flow of druid combat. So you're in caster form, you know, you buffed yourself up, and you want to kill some mobs efficiently, right? So the first thing you do is you spend your mana in a burst, you know, front-loading your spells, you know, instead of staggering them out, and you're going to spend your mana on something productive. Now that could be, you know, direct damage in the form of a wrath followed by a moonfire, something like that. That could be rolling a couple hots on yourself, like using regrowth and rejuvenation. That could just be rebuffing yourself if your thorns is about to fall off. Spend your mana so that when you swap into animal form, you're going to continue to get value from your mana regeneration, and it's not just you're not going to be sitting at full resources, right? So if these add-ons are available to you come Classic, it's pretty mandatory to get Druid Bar, or I think Luna has a way to track it. There's a couple of the different frame type things that allow you to track your caster form mana, even while you're in a shapeshifted animal form. Now, so you're going to spend your mana, and let's say you spent your mana, you're at like 65% mana, right? Then you pop into cat form or bear form, and you start engaging targets. You're going to kill maybe 2, 3, and then your mana is going to be approaching 100% again. Now, you don't want to be sitting there with 100% resources, right? So at this point, even if you're not low, it's ideal to pop back out to caster form and then again spend that mana on something productive, translate it into more aggressive damage on the next mob, or healing yourself, or whatever. And you're going to kind of rinse and repeat. So you're just shifting in and out of animal forms, keeping that infinite value loop going. So we talked about the highest movement speed in the game with druids, right? You have travel form, you have cat form with feline swiftness. So that's, you know, a 30% increased movement speed in one form, 40% in another one. And then at level 40, you get apprentice riding. This is where you get your 60% speed mount. So when is it going to be more efficient to ride your 60% mount to your next objective versus using travel form or cat form? Now, this is something that, you know, is interesting, you know, because you're dealing with, you know, 30% versus 60%, 40% versus 60%. The answer might surprise you. So there's a 3-second cast time when you decide to mount up, right? And then you get the increased movement speed. So if you plan to ride for 20 seconds, 21 seconds or longer upon finishing your 3-second mounted cast time, you should use your mount. But that's a long time, guys. That's a long time. So it's basically 24 seconds total. If you're going to travel somewhere and it's likely going to take less than 24 seconds, like 15 seconds or something, it's actually more optimal to go from point A to point B in travel form. And then the breaking point is a bit lower with cat, but it's interesting to think about. And those values are courtesy of Mobia in the Druid Classic Discord. Very smart guy. All right, Druid specific tips. I'm not going to go through all of these, just a couple pages of them, but one that I'm going to point out is Teleport Moonglade. So mages, contrary to many people's opinion, aren't the only ones that can teleport in Classic WoW. Druids actually have a spell called Teleport Moonglade. You get it very early on, and it is really, really such a nice amenity to have. Now, it allows you to, it kind of offers you a second Hearthstone. So what you can do as a Druid is when you're out leveling, you can set your Hearthstone to wherever you're leveling at. Let's say you're in Stone Talon, you want to set it at that lodge. And then when you need to go back to a major city to go to a profession trainer or visit the auction house or train some skills, you can use Teleport Moonglade, train all your Druid skills in Moonglade, and then fly to Thunderbluff or whatever, and then visit whoever you need to visit, and then, you know, then you're good to go. So that's really going to be valuable for you, and another reason why Druids can level so fast. So we talked about the mana regen in cat form. So shifting into a form counts as a spell, which will affect your mana regeneration, where shifting out does not. Be sure to save any pieces with intellect or spirit. It could be cloth, it could be whatever, as you're leveling, because it's always nice to have a healing set handy. Also, you know, this is more so the case with other classes that struggle with sustain, but swapping back and forth into a spirit set can help boost that out of combat time. Let's see. Yep, that's pretty much it for the Druid specific tips. So useful add-ons, Druid bar, that's what it looks like. That blue bar up at the top left, it's kind of a movable little...
Eggs for a snack?
Yeah, they're quick.
That's weird.
It's not weird.
You're weird. You never asked for help.
Eggs for a snack isn't weird. You're weird for thinking it's weird.
Alert, I think. No problem. Nah, I'm just chilling this. PTR, fog, dude. Okay, we got some hype in the chat today. Tonight there's going to be PTR testing for the new raid and 9.2 retail. Give me some pog in the chat, boys. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, guys. Hey, new raid, dude. New raid. These are some pogs, man. Nice. I might watch actually if I'm not live. No cap. The stream ends by then.
Go Yuddy donated €3.33 for the boomers in chat. Can we hear club to death? Just one time. Pogged. Chat will love it. I guarantee.
Pogged. Fuck, I miss. Oops. Wait, we already listened to this song like 3 songs ago. It coincidentally played again. Well, so it's a great drop. I'll rewind it a bit. It's a good drop though. Okay, rewind it a little bit. 140 songs in the playlist.
Yesterday. God bless. Hopefully you get to spend time soon with your GF couple maybe after Christmas.
Very ahead of. one. Damn, dude. Dude. So when I got scared and I saw King Mosh, right? So there was a mage right next to me and he was like, dude, I'm sweating, I'm gonna pop a molly, you know? He's like liking the music, right? And he died to King Mosh a few minutes later. It was level 54. Yeah. A bit unfortunate. Yeah, hardcore. I almost saw him. I could have seen him die, dude. I didn't. How it goes. Dude, we're blasting right now. I'm doing so many quests. Good grind, boys. Good grind. Oh my god. Ah. Make sure I don't die to King Mosh, because I don't think you can CC him. If I pull King Mosh, it's like guaranteed death. Or maybe I live with shield wall, I don't know. I don't know how hard he hits. Yeah, I have dummies, I guess. But he's gonna one-shot the dummy, you know? Like, if I pull him, I just like backpedal straight jump with like shield wall can maybe live. Power Lord. These guys are tough. Disarm, root. And they heal as well. Holy shit. I have a section on Discord where you can recommend songs for the playlist. Exclamation point Discord if you want. Haven't looked at it in a few days, but yeah, there is a section for it. Ungora's a really good questing zone, yeah. Like all of these quests are like kill a shit ton of mobs and you get a bunch of XP and you explode what's it called, pillars, beacons. I'm afraid of one quest though, like the dinosaur here. I think he's high level. I have to use retaliation on him. Oh my god, bro! I don't know this damage. Oh, he's 55? Oh, he's easy? Okay, I thought he was harder. I'm not going in the monkey cave. I don't think so. Like, I forgot to make a mithril casing. But I did make mithril second, but I used all of them. So I don't have a mithril casing. So it's only to, like, touch the monkey and then I'm out. Like, it's all worth. Yeah. I'm not gonna go in the cave. I'll kill the monkeys, but I'm not going. Might have to go in a bit, but... Yeah, then there was a level 53 paladin, Yaman lol. He died in the monkey cave. So after seeing him die there, I'm like, okay. And the guy's level 60 hardcore warrior after already. So he's really good. I don't have to take risks anymore. I'm way ahead of where I should be XP wise. I can play a complete pussy and I'll hit 60 just fine. Nice. Guys are tanky. 5 days, 5 hours / played, boys. Imagine dying. I lose 5 days, 5 hours. Yikes. Guys are so tanky. I don't think the dinosaurs come here, right? Nah. I'm pretty sure they're home. I've never seen a devil sword here. Like, I think they... King Mosh is like around here. There's no devil sword here. Like here, I think there is one. Like this. Like this area, as far as I know, is pretty safe. Yeah. Dude, this drop rate is so bad, man. Disarm as well. Ugh. I think I shouldn't be killing the Tard. Also gonna stop after this and go do the other quest and then do the easy ones here and here. They have they're level 50. They don't disarm you. They die twice as fast. Change patrol route now? You think Blizzard's gonna change the patrol route? Come on. I really screwed up. I should be 245 mining, man, so I can mine all these thoriums, but I'm not. And I don't think there's any meter in the zone. Maybe there is, but it's rare. Yo, dude. Thank you for the buff, sir. Oh, you just got buffed. Remove the buff or I report you to the police. The hardcore police. Unbelievable. Oh my god. What's this guy's weapon? No ways. AV weapon. AV trinket. Dude, that's so OP, man. Imagine if I had this. Imagine if I queued AV and I won. Somehow didn't get killed and I get that weapon. Like, that would be insane, dude. I mean, it's possible, right? Just hide, bro. Dude, what if someone found me? Wait, don't I have to be next to the boss though?
€3.33. Have you been to Palermo or Sicily?
I don't know if it's allowed actually. No, I haven't been to Sicily actually. Never, and it's embarrassing because I live right there, like right next to it. I sometimes match with women on Tinder that lived in Sicily. Because it's only like 90 miles away. Yeah. But if I accepted the quest, do I have to be next to Drek to get completion? No, I just have to win a game of AV, right? But isn't that like bannable? I'm just standing at the entrance, safe and sound, and people are carrying me. You know what I mean? It's a bit sus to play like that. I'd be like, you know, giving people morale in the chat, like, yo, let's do it, boys, you got this. Hard to upgrade from USA to Malta? Nah, not at all. No Americans here. Yeah, people would gank me in the city when I leave the game. PvP flag, you're right. True. Like, I'll leave the city, like, I'll win, I back in the city and, like, boom, 3 rows on me. But then you guys could call me an AV ranker for content. I love how people call me an AV ranker. And the same people are like ranking an AV right now. Probably like rank 12 on their level 53 characters, dude. Listen, I ranked an AV when I was cool, okay? Okay, the Thunderers are the hard ones, right? Fog and tea. Wait, I was supposed to do something with this. Oh yeah, that's a hard quest. I gotta go in, right? Oops. Do it later. I mean, I can always skip it. Ace quest. Yeah, I forgot. Alright, this quest is kind of hard. I need to kill Thunderers, and then I can kill the rest outside. Thunderers have like a thunderclap that does like a bazillion damage. What the fuck? Why do I have aggro on them? What? Okay, I'll take this Thunderer. Cell 52, you know, shouldn't do that much damage, right? That's a thunderclap. Wait, it doesn't actually give me a debuff though. Okay. Huge, boys. Is he okay? I gotta help him because I'm stuck in combat. Killing blow with the gun, boys. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I only have 56 skill, man. Okay, another Thunderer. Fuck. Come on, just give me a pelt and I can leave the cave. I'm so lucky, dude. Yo. 2 Thunderers, 2 pelts. Easy clap. Now I don't have to be in the cave, everything is outside. I'm just gonna take forever to kill them, but I don't care. Yeah, I need 1 of this and then 2 of the Stomper. Yeah, I can just like ping pong, bing, 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 bing. Like this. That's so lucky, man. I think Creepers are easy. Yeah. That's so lucky, man. Like, it's all about efficiency in this zone. There's so many different quests. Like, just like rotate and finish everything, then do this, and then do this. This one's gonna be kind of hard. Then I'm done. Wait, these barrels don't stack. Okay, well, minus 15 silver, I guess. I'm out of the cave, bro. No, wait. You're on delay, by the way. Did I do Marathon? Yes, I have double Trash Blade from the quest. You did Mara, dude. Can't skip Marathon, man. Not